Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly,
just when the sports world thought women's basketball had finally shattered the glass ceiling, a completely unprecedented disaster is threatening to bring the entire empire crashing down. Imagine turning on your television, expecting to see the massive momentum of the most historic rookie class in history rolling into a highly anticipated new season music, only to find out the courts are locked, the lights are off, and the top executive has suddenly walked away from the table. Music. Stephen A. Smith just dropped a bombshell that has left executives sweating, players scrambling, and fans in absolute disbelief. According to the legendary sports broadcaster, Music, the entire upcoming WNBA season is on the verge of being completely scrapped and delayed until 2026, and the chaos behind the scenes has allegedly forced Commissioner Cathy Engelbert to resign her position. The momentum built by stars like Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese, and Music. Ajah Wilson was supposed to guarantee a golden era for women's sports, but instead, it has seemingly triggered a nuclear winter. Music. Record-breaking viewership, sold-out arenas, and merchandise flying off the shelves didn't translate to fairness. Beneath the surface, a massive civil war had been brewing, and the boiling point had finally arrived. Stephen A. Smith didn't just hint at a little friction. He completely exposed a massive structural collapse festering behind closed doors for months. The league's ownership group and the players' union were locked in a devastating staring contest, neither side willing to blink, and the seeds of catastrophe had been planted when the league thought it was invincible. The players were operating under a 2020 collective bargaining agreement, long before the current explosion in popularity. Under that old deal, they received only a fraction of the revenue, meaning superstars were making base salaries of $76,000 while the league signed media deals worth billions. Frustration boiled over as the WNBA Players Association quietly assembled a legal and financial team to prepare for war, demanding a 50-50 revenue split, guaranteed charter flights, better maternity benefits, and higher baseline salaries. The owners allegedly balked, pointing to decades of losses and arguing profits should be reinvested, not immediately handed out. Negotiations didn't stall, they hit a brick wall. Both sides refused to budge, threatening a lockout, but the players called the bluff, willing to burn the house down for what they deserved. Meanwhile, Commissioner Engelbert struggled to maintain control. A corporate-minded CEO with a detached approach, she failed to understand the highly emotional, visible business of professional sports music. Her missteps, including downplaying toxic fan behavior on national television and comparing it to 1980s business booms, shattered trust between players and leadership. When the CBA negotiations turned ugly, she lost leverage and respect entirely, making it impossible to broker peace. The deadlock escalated, and starting the next season became totally unmanageable. New expansion teams in Golden State, Toronto, and Portland couldn't launch without proper rules, salary caps, or financial agreements, while the owners reportedly proposed canceling the entire season and delaying everything until 2026. Music. This extreme strategy was meant to starve the players into submission, but it backfired. With new billion-dollar TV deals, music, and sponsor contracts at stake, the league faced catastrophic public relations risk. The players, however, had changed. Modern athletes have lucrative endorsements, social media influence, and independent revenue streams. Music, meaning they no longer desperately needed league salaries to survive. Rumors of a competing, unrivaled league, Music, spearheaded by superstars Breanna Stewart and Naphiza Collier, only escalated the threat. This alternative league could offer higher salaries, equity stakes, and overseas opportunities, undermining the WNBA's monopoly and putting immense pressure on the struggling owners. The final blow came with Engelbert's sudden resignation. Facing a furious players' union, panicked sponsors, and multi-billion-dollar network partners, her position became untenable. Sources suggest her exit was not peaceful, but a desperate move to escape incoming bad press. Music. whether forced by billionaire owners or walked away on her own terms. Her departure left the WNBA decapitated. With no commissioner to mediate, owners and players now face each other across a battlefield, staring down inevitable carnage, and the league scrambles to find an interim leader. Delaying the season to 2026 isn't just a pause. It's a massive existential gamble. Fans' attention spans are short, and alternative leagues are rising. The last 2 years' momentum, fueled by generational talent, cultural timing, and viral social media marketing, cannot simply be paused music. If the WNBA sacrifices a year of Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese, and Ajah Wilson in their absolute physical prime just to win a boardroom argument over revenue, it could go down as one of the most catastrophic business blunders in modern sports history. The fans did their part, but the executives failed. So, what do you think? Are the players justified in burning the system down for their fair share? Or is the league making an unrecoverable mistake that could ruin women's basketball forever? Music?